So this is the work in progress here in Mitchell 1. So we're going to start with the loop sticker software first. And I can tell you folks, at your shop, if you have a loop sticker printer and we've installed our software, make sure that our support team tries to integrate your printer with our software. The whole purpose of the loop sticker software is to be able to print loop stickers to that printer so you don't have to go back and do it manually. So what I'm going to show you first is our website. So if you go to the Bolt-On Technology website, and there's a ton of resources here, and you go to our support page, on the left-hand side, under Additional Resources, we have a link that says Loop Sticker and Printer Supplies. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to the printer page. And we support about 75% of the different loop sticker printers on the market. But here's where you can buy additional labels, you can buy additional printers, and by all means, if you have any questions and you're not sure which one to get, you can always call in our support department. So, but please use this link here from our website as a resource. Another resource I'm going to show you from our website is this here. So if you go to our step-by-step help guide, which is there again from our support page, there is a downloadable PDF. And I'm going to open it up here, and I've saved it to my desktop. And this is great because everything we're going to cover today and then also on Thursday, 99% of those questions and answers are right here in this How Do I guide. And you can save this on the desktop of each computer at the shop and always refer back to it. So once you save this as a PDF file, if you notice off to the left here, here are all of our different products. So today we're going to be covering ProPack, which is our loop sticker software, our Report Pro software, and our Message Manager Pro, which is our text messaging software. So if you open up the loop sticker software, here are all the more common questions about the software and how to configure it on the left-hand side. At any point, if you see the question that refers to what you're looking for, click on the question, and then there's your question and your answer. And like I said, if you run into problems where this isn't helpful, you can always call our support line. So, but please take advantage of the How Do I guide. Like I said, you can go right to our website. You can go to our support page, go to the step-by-step guide, and just save it on your computers. So with that said, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up Mitchell 1. I'm going to jump into a basic work order. And as we see here, this work order has an oil change and some various other maintenance services. So the training with the loop sticker software and our loop sticker program is to help you build car count, help you build retention. And we know that a lot of our customers, when they come in for the oil change, we don't make a ton of money, and it's not about the oil change. The software, the loop sticker software, is designed to wow that customer. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that customer on a maintenance schedule. So not only do we see them back for the oil change, but all those maintenance services where we do make our better profit margins and we do make our higher sales. So in here, the key with the loop sticker software is we have to get this at the drop-off, the odometer in. If you open our loop sticker software and that number is 0, the software is not going to be able to do what it needs to do. So that is the most critical thing, that we get that mileage at the drop-off of the vehicle. So once we have the mileage at the drop-off and we have our work order built, whether it's an estimate or repair order, it does not matter, you can open up the ProPack software. And we're going to start with the loop sticker software here. And there's our main window. So first I'm going to touch on the settings screen of the loop sticker software. So in here, and this is all part of what we set up for you folks when we install everything, but here we allow you to put in 3 oil types, and you can call them whatever you like. And you guys as a shop get to set up when you would like to see the vehicles return based on the odometer and the days. And that could all be based on the weight and the grade of your oil. If you happen to be in Canada, we change this setting to kilometers for you. Once you make those changes, you just hit save and you're ready to go. Another nice feature here in the settings under the automation tab is this is where we probably programmed it for you to tell the software here which days of the week you're open and which days of the week you're not open. So at my shop, let's say I'm closed Saturdays and Sundays. I'm going to leave these days unchecked. Our software will know to not go and book any future appointments on a Saturday or Sunday for you. And this can be all changed as your business changes. Maybe my shop's open Saturday, but Monday's an extremely heavy day at our shop. I might choose to have our software not book future oil changes on Mondays and just have it book the appointments Tuesdays through Saturdays. And what we can do is we can start culturing our customers to come in for those oil change appointments on those days. So the software is very unique, right? And it's very intuitive. We can tell the software the time here that we want to schedule our first appointment. We can tell the software the max amount of appointments we can handle per day as a shop. So if my car count, I cannot handle any more than 12 or 10 appointments per day, I want to let the software know that. And that's important because when our software goes to book that future appointment, which I'm going to show you here in a few moments, and it looks out 45 or 60 days from now, if it sees you have 10 future appointments on your schedule, our software will roll to the next business day. It will not overbook you. Another nice feature here is you get to tell the software how you want to stagger your appointments. You want to do 30 minutes in between, 15, an hour, whatever it may be. Inside the software here, and I suggest, guys, take notes if you can as we go along here, and we're going to cover a lot today. Inside the automation tab here, we have a schedule tab. And this is where we can block off future holidays and days that we know our shop is closed. So there again, the software will not book appointments on those future days that we have blocked off as holidays or closed days. So there again, we set up most of this for you when we install, but in this case, we're ending or nearing the end of the year. So the 1st of January, the first week, as a shop, I probably want to go in to this part here, and I want to look at every day in 2016 that I know our shop is not open. I want to make sure that I block those days off. For instance, if I know my shop is going to be closed on Valentine's Day, I can go to the 14th of February, I can highlight the day and say, add it to my calendar. So now February 14th is in the schedule, and our software will not book any future appointments on February 14th, 2016. If you notice here all the days I have blocked off, for those days that are recurring days, the holidays that fall on the same day every year, like Christmas, New Year's Day, July 4th, when you block those days off, you can just check this recurring here, and it will block off the next 10 years of days. All of our standard U.S. holidays in Canada are already blocked off when you get the software. But just go in here and double check and make sure we haven't missed anything. Make your changes, like I said, hit the save button, and you are ready to go. So let's take a look at the Loop Sticker software. So the importance of the Loop Sticker software is, one, that our software looks at your history. So as long as your customers had at least one previous visit to your shop, we are going to calculate their history, and we are going to calculate this, their driving habits. How many miles per day does your customer drive, right? So we know everyone drives different mileages, different days. No one drives the same. But we also know that Loop Sticker software doesn't look at those generic national averages. So before you folks purchased the software, everything that left your shop was 90 days or 3,000 miles. Or maybe you provided a synthetic oil that was a 5,000 or 7,500 mile motor oil, and we're telling the customer to come back in 180 days, 6 months. So as I put my odometer in today, I can see that this customer is driving 62 miles per day. And let's say we're giving this customer the conventional motor oil, which is our 3,000 mile motor oil. Now, typically, like I said before, Loop Sticker software came along, that's the customer you're telling to come back and see in 90 days. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up a calculator. And if I take 3,000 miles, which is our motor oil, and I divide it by 62 miles per day, this customer is due back in about 48 days. They are not going to make it 90 days. In fact, this customer is driving about double of national average. So the nice thing with the Loop Sticker software, the next odometer, we're just adding 3,000 miles onto the odometer in today. But this is the key, the next due date. And this next due date of February 2nd is 48 days from today. And if you notice here, if I change grades of oil, everything just auto-calculates. So, now, February 2nd is going to be our next due date. That's when we're predicting that this customer, if they continue to drive 62 miles per day, is going to be due for that next oil change. So, now here's the key with the software. This button right here, the print button. The print button is your action key. That's what makes everything happen. So, for our shops, if you are still handwriting lube stickers, or you have a printer that maybe we cannot integrate with, and you're still going back to that keyboard and typing in those future dates, you want to open up this software, you want to let the software do all the math for you, and we still want you to click the print button, even though you're not physically printing a lube sticker. Here is where you can read the settings, you can type them into your manual label, you can write them on your label, but clicking the print button is going to drive the software. Now, for our shops that have a lube sticker printer attached, we're going to print a lube sticker that looks something similar to this. Of course, it's going to have your shop name and address on it, and depending on the printer, we can do some customizations and possibly get your shop logo on it. So now, once the lube sticker's printed, go and tear it off. Technician gets it, puts it inside the windshield of the vehicle, but watch what happens. If I go to my vehicle tab here in Mitchell 1, there is our next service recommendation. This is a best practice. But without our software, you would have to create this next service recommendation manually. And we know it just does not happen in this industry. We're all too busy, it takes too long, we just don't do it. But think about it. We go to a doctor's office, we go to a dentist's office, we go to a nail salon, a hair salon, whatever it is. You can't get out of those places without booking your next appointment. And that's what we want to do in this industry. We want to teach our customers that it's good because you're driving $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicles that take us to work and help us pay our bills. We want to get those vehicles on a maintenance schedule. The better the maintenance schedule, the longer they will last. And ultimately, the less repairs will cost in the future. So not only do we set this next recommendation here for you for February 2nd at 125,000 miles, but if we go back into Schedule inside Manager, and I go out to February 2nd, there's your next appointment automatically, all by clicking that print button. If you don't click the print button, none of this happens. So, now we have the appointment set. So, the best way to handle this with our customer, because we know that our text messaging software is going to send out the appointment reminders automatically. So, this is something very important. I would highly suggest you write this down. When this customer comes in today to pay for that vehicle, and we print their invoice out or email it, whatever it may be, we know on the invoice goes the future recommendation. I would highly suggest take 10 or 15 seconds with your customer. Highlight that next recommendation and let the customer know that, in this case, I have myself set up as this customer. I would say to this customer, hey, Mr. Dragoni, just so you know, we did your oil change today. Our software has predicted that your next oil change is going to be somewhere around February 2nd. We've created you a soft appointment. There's no need. You're not locked in to come back that day. But what we're going to do about a week in advance, we're going to just send you a little friendly appointment reminder via text message. Take a look at your odometer. If you're due for the oil change, you can confirm your appointment. You don't have to call us back. If you're not ready for the appointment or you're out of town, you can text us back and reschedule for another date. It's that simple. We're trying to get away from all this phone call time. And then I'm going to get into that with the text messaging just to show you folks how big of a drain of time the phone is in our shop. So if we have that conversation with the customer that we've pre-booked their future appointment, we're setting that expectation, you can bet you will see somewhere between 50 and 70% of those oil change customers come back religiously. And like I said, it's not about the oil change, right? Because we don't make a ton of money. But if those customers come back and they're that loyal to us, you can better believe you're going to see that car 3, 4, 5 times a year for all those other maintenance services. And that's what we all want. All right. So when I open back up the lube sticker software, another nice feature in here is the ability to print a key tag sticker. Now, to print a key tag sticker, you have to have this printer here. So I'm going to go back here, and you have to have this printer here, and this is a Dymo DYMO 450. This is a label printer with a paper label that has a very low tack adhesive on the labels. It's not a static cling. The adhesive is like the adhesive on a Post-it note, so these stickers do come off easy. Very seldom when they ever leave any residue behind when the customer comes back in 60 or 90 days from now. But this printer, you can do your T-tag stickers as well as your lube stickers, all with one label, all with one printer. So the beauty of this key tag option here is, think about it. We're attaching key tags to our customer's keys that maybe we're handwriting the customer's name on, or the license, or the RO number, whatever it may be. Seems like we can never read them. So we pick up all the customer's information right from inside of Mitchell here. You click print, it goes on the sticker, you stick it to the key tag, you're done. It's much more professional looking, and it's a lot easier to read it. When we're ready to go back to the Loop Sticker software, here we are. So another nice option here, and this is for our technicians, is this button here. A lot of times people miss it, the oil reset instructions. So think about how often our technicians have to go and look up the oil reset instructions, whether they're looking in our repair software or maybe they're going out to Google. But in this case here, for this 05 Camry, I can just click on this button, and there's the reset instructions. We can print these out to our printer. We can copy and paste these into a note window, or what I've done here inside of Mitchell is I've gone into the Vehicle tab, and I just put them here in the Memo section. So it's here for all future use. And we can even print this memo on the work order. But take advantage of the reset instructions. If it saves us a minute, a car, every time we have to go look this information up, and it's accurate, we're saving time, right? We're saving money. Another nice feature, and this is one that always seems to get overlooked inside the Loop Sticker software, is right here. So if you guys go into your Automation tab, and we come down here, we have a button called Advanced Scheduling. So what this Advanced Scheduling does, and you can see here I have all these jobs built. This will allow you, and I'm going to try to add a new one here. And in this drop down, this will pull every canned job you have inside of Mitchell Manager. And you can choose a canned job, let's say a 30K service for this Subaru Forester. And what I can do here is I can then, if I'm doing that 30K service today, I can make a recommendation to do the next service, which might be a 45K service. And I get to tell the software, I want to see that vehicle back in 15,000 miles, which is approximately about 1 year. And I can even put my labor time in, how long it's going to take me to do that 45K service. So maybe it's a half-hour service. I can save that. It's going to go here into my list, and there it is. It's all customizable. Now, once we build these once, that's all we have to do. So let's go back to our work order. And if you notice here, on this job, I have a cabin air filter job, and I have a battery recharge. So I'm going to go back into the Loop Sticker software, go to the Advanced Scheduling, and here's my cabin air filter can job from Mitchell. What I've done here is I've made a recommendation for the next cabin air filter. And I've put this as a 2-year service, 24,000 miles. In the battery charge and test, I have that set up. I want to do that twice a year. I want to test my customer's battery. So these are all generic or basic maintenance services we're doing every day. So now, being I have those set up in my Advanced Scheduling, and I have those jobs on my invoice, when I click that print button in the Loop Sticker software, which is our action key, I'm going to go back into the Recommendations tab. There's my next job for the next cabin air filter, and look at this. It's not due until 2017 at this mileage. Automatically, your recommendation goes in. And if I go out to January 5th of 2017 in the schedule, it's already booked my customer's next appointment. So that's a year and a month away. We're not going to remember that that car's due for a cabin air filter. Software will. And guess what? That customer's going to get an appointment reminder a week before January 5th, 2017. So about a year from now, they'll get another appointment reminder to come back for that cabin air filter. Like I said, all you have to do is do some basic configurations ahead of time, and the software takes care of everything going forward. So now, like I said, we had our conversation with our customer. We let them know that they're due for the next oil change on February 2nd. Here's what's going to happen now. In the text messaging software, that customer is going to get that appointment reminder, like we said, a week in advance of that due date of February 2nd. So let's say around January 25th, 26th, this is the appointment reminder your customer is going to see. And it's going to go out automatically, as long as you have the cell phone in the cell phone field inside of Mitchell Manager. That is the key. The text messaging reads the cell phone field inside of Manager SE. If you have their cell phone in the home field, it will not work. So here is the reminder that goes out. And it tells the customer, hey Frank, a reminder of your appointment for your 05 Camry XLE on February 2nd at 8 o'clock a.m. at, in this case it says bolt-on, but this would be your shop name, your shop phone number, and it gives the customer the option to confirm the appointment just by replying with the letter C. For some reason your customer does not want to be communicated via text message, they can type the word stop in, and that will turn off the customer. Or like I said, if that date of February 2nd doesn't work for your customer, they can text back to the shop and say, I'm out of town that day, can I come in February 9th? And then at that point, you can just go back into Mitchell, into the schedule, move the appointment out to February 9th, and our software will automatically send the next appointment reminder for the customer. Very simple. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send this text message to my cell phone. And of course, it's already hit my cell phone. And that's the beauty of text messaging. Our customers are going to get our messages typically within 2 to 4 seconds. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into this message. I'm going to confirm that appointment. And I'm going to text it back to the shop here. So you're going to see what's going to happen on my computer as the inbound text message comes in. The beauty of text messaging, it just runs in the background. Nothing you have to do. When those text messages come in, they'll pop up on all the workstations for the service advisors. You don't have to go and look for them. You don't have to go and refresh anything. We take care of it all. So as we're waiting for that text message to come back in here, I'm going to get into talking about the text messaging. So the key with the text messaging, folks, is you have to have it open on our workstations. If the text messaging is not open and it's closed, we can't send out any reminders. Think about it. If your cell phone's turned off, can you text anyone? Obviously, the answer is no. So when we open up the text messaging window here, think of this as like our cell phones. Here's every text message we have on our cell phone to our wives, our husbands, our friends, our coworkers, whatever it may be. And any message, if I want to see the history, I just double click and there's all the history between my shop and my customer. And the beauty of all this here is everything is date and time stamped for you folks. So we constantly have a paper trail. So I'm going to minimize this for a second. If you notice in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, there is that inbound text message that just came back in from Frank. And he's confirmed his appointment. That's great. That's what we want, right? We want retention. How often do those customers not come in? And it drives us crazy. So now that I see that Frank has confirmed his appointment, if I want to respond to Frank and thank him, I can just by clicking inside the message window. And I can type a message in here and send it right back to Frank. Or I don't have to reply at all. But being that we got that confirmation, watch what happens inside the Mitchell schedule. So I'm going to go back out to February 2nd, open up the appointment, and take a notice up here in the notes window where it says automated oil change and the vehicle information. Now you have the word confirmed. So when your customers confirm the appointments, we're going to let you know. This is important because so often, the day before, I'm looking at my schedule for the next day's work, or maybe sometimes 2 days ahead. You will be able to see who has confirmed their appointments and who has not confirmed their appointments. So, if I have 10 appointments on my schedule and I have 7 or 8 confirmations from our customers, my concern is not those 7 or 8 customers. They've told me they're coming in. I'm going to trust that they're coming in. My concern is the 2 people that did not confirm, that I don't have the word confirmed up here in the schedule. And what do I need to do to talk to those folks. I can send them another text message. I can leave them a message. I can send them an email. Maybe you want to drive by and throw a rock through the window. I don't know how you want to handle it, but that is your concern. Those other 2 or 3 customers that have not confirmed. The goal is to get everyone to confirm, right? And if we culture our customers, we have shops that see over 90% confirmations. It's just unheard of because they've done such a good job setting the expectation with the customer. And that's what it's all about. So it's vital that we have that conversation at the counter, like I said, with the customer when they leave today with that, after getting that oil change. And if we have that conversation and we set the expectation, like I said, you'll see 50, 60, 70, upwards of 80% of those customers confirm those appointments. If we say nothing and we let the software just do its thing, you'll probably see about 18 to 25% retention, which is probably still better than what you're typically seeing. But man, it's sure very nice to see the 70 or 80% of my customers come back on a regular basis. All right. So now I'm in the order screen. I'm going to go back to the text messaging window. Like I said, it just runs in the background. And folks, take notice. Up in the upper left-hand corner, we have a little menu up here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 little tabs in here. So the new message tab. That's if you want to just type in someone's phone number, type in a message, and manually send someone a message. Chances are, probably something we're not going to use too often here. Now, the quick message tab. It'll probably be the choice you'll use the most. The quick message tab, folks, is designed to let you communicate with whoever's order you have open inside a manager, in this case, Frank. So when I go to the quick message tab, as you see here, it brings over Frank's name and his cell phone number we read from the cell phone field. A nice feature here is if maybe Frank is our customer, but maybe it's his wife's car, and she's the one that dropped off, and I need to send her a text, I can just hit the switch phone number field, and it'll pick up all the other phone numbers inside of Manager. Now, if I know maybe this is Frank's wife's phone number, no problem. I can click, and send her a message. And if you notice when I switch phone numbers, we've never sent her a message. That's why there's no history. But when we do send her a message, we will store the history between the wife and the shop as well. So now that I'm going to send Frank a message, I want to use the quick templates. So up in here, with the software, folks, you see 5 of these with little stars next to them. You get these templates with the software. These are canned text messages. These are the more common things that you are talking to your customers about every day. So the beauty with the text messaging and the reason we designed this, and if you folks do some time studies, we know that almost 2/3 of all your outbound calls in your shop go unanswered. That means you get your customer's voicemail. Very frustrating. We also know that the average return call time from your customer back into your shop is about 1.3 billable hours. So think about that. Think about what your labor rate is, and every time you need to wait an hour for a customer to call you back, whether it be you have their estimate ready, you need to talk about some parts, whatever it may be. Think about how often it happens. When we look out in the shop and we see a car sitting up on the lift with the wheels off it, and the technician sitting there drinking coffee, eating donuts, whatever he or she may be doing. Now, when we send the customer a text message, right? Find me a customer that doesn't have a cell phone nowadays, or let's say very few. And find me a customer that we have that doesn't know how to send a text message. You know what? If they don't, teach them. It only takes 5 seconds. But think about it. Now, if we text our customers, instead of it being 1.3 billable hours return response time, how would you like to cut that to less than 18 minutes? How would you like to cut 80 or 85% of that time off? And not have to make that outbound phone call. This is where I talked about the phone in the shop is one of the biggest drains of time, on time, and efficiency we have. Right? Because all day we feel the need. We got to talk to everyone. And we feel everyone wants to talk to us. But think about it. Most of our customers drop off their cars, right? We don't want our customers sitting around waiting all day. And think about where they go. Work, home with the family. They're not always available, and they're not always sitting by a phone waiting to take our phone calls. And I'm a prime example. If my car was in one of your shops, I only check my voicemail twice a day. Lunchtime, 5 p.m. So if I drop my car off at 8 a.m. at your shop, and you leave me a message at 9 a.m., and you want an approval for an estimate, you're getting your call back somewhere around 12:30, 1 o'clock. Now, I put you under a lot of pressure, right? Because I still expect my car done by 5:30. I don't want to hear that you can't get my car fixed. If you tell me that, probably chances are I'm not going to come back there again. But I'm on meetings, I'm on phone calls, just like this. We're going to be tied up here, get together, all of us, for about an hour. So, if you sent me a text message and I'm in a meeting, I can respond via text, and I'll respond to your text probably within under 5 minutes. You leave me a message, like I said, be prepared to wait a couple hours to get my return phone call. So, think about that every time we go to pick up that phone. Now, if I want to send Frank a message from our quick templates that his vehicle is ready for pickup, I just click, the message preloads, and of course, if you notice, you always put your customer's name in there because we grab it right out of Mitchell. And I hit send, and 2 to 3 seconds later, my customer has their text message. And I just got it. And if my customer wants to respond, not a problem. They go inside the message, and I'm going to text back, I'll be there at 5. So I'm just going to send that message back in to the shop. We check for new text message for you folks every 30 seconds automatically. So you will never go more than 30 seconds without an inbound text message. Like I said, there's nothing you have to do on your part. We take care of it all. All right. So in the quick message tab, like I said, here's all your templates. We even have them in Spanish. We also give you folks a template builder. You can build your own canned text messages. It's very simple. It takes probably a minute or two per text message. Once you save them, they're on all your workstations. And there again, how to do this is all in that how do I document I showed you how to save on your desktop. So if I go back into my quick templates, I have one here that says the estimate is ready. So this is great for our customers. We can prepare this template. I can just go in here, drop in the dollar amount, and it tells my customer, hey, your estimate is $300 for your Camry. Call us to discuss, or type the word approve for the shop to perform the work. So I'm going to send this out to my customer, let them know their estimate's ready and how much it's going to be. Now, look in the bottom right-hand corner. There's my message back from Frank saying he'll be back at 5. So if I want to respond, I can click inside the message window. Terrific. All right. So I just sent out the message for the estimate to our customer. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in the word approve, and I'm going to approve the work because, I'm in the shop all the time. I trust the guys over there. I don't need to talk to them. If they tell me it's $300, that's kind of what I expected it to be. I'm going to let them, and I'm going to move on and do my work. I don't need to talk to someone on the phone. So we're going to wait for that message to come back in here. So while we wait for that approval to come in, and the reason that the texting is nice is if I go into this order here, and I have my paper trail, right, and here's my outbound message going to my customer, telling them the work's going to be $300, we want their approval, or they can call us if they want. Now, I just refreshed the screen and look at this. The approval will be here any second now. But look what I have. I have a paper trail. That means this customer cannot come in at 5 o'clock tonight and say, hey, Bob, or hey, Joe, or hey, Margaret, or whatever, I did not approve $300. Right? I'm sure it happens sometimes over the phone. Well, we do have a paper trail, right? Because everything is date and time stamped. Here's the customer's approval. They can't pull one over on us. There's the inbound message. And the nice thing about our text messages, folks, especially for our smaller shops that maybe a service advisor is also a technician, is when these messages come in, these things will never disappear unless you address it or actually physically close out of it. So if you don't get back to the desktop for 20 minutes, it will still be there. And if there's multiple messages, they'll just stack up here on the right-hand side. So you can then address every message. All right, so think about, and I'm going to move on to the next one here, which is the customer list button. So think about our shops, right? We're busy all day, and we spend 99% of our day inside of Mitchell, and we're always working on estimates and repair orders and building quotes and things like that. But how often does it hit us? I'm working on Frank's order here, and then all of a sudden, oh, I forgot, I have to call Mrs. Jones. Well, in Mitchell, what are we doing all day? We don't know everyone's phone numbers off the top of our heads, so all day we're doing this. We're leaving here, we're coming to here, we're looking up Mrs. Jones, we find her phone number, and then of course we pick up the phone and we make that outbound phone call. And we probably leave a message and wait an hour and a half for the call back. So what we've done here for you folks that have the software is you can be in a work order, just pop open the text messaging, go to the customer list button, and this is like a Rolodex for you. Every customer is in here that's in your Mitchell database. Find your customer, double click. It'll tell you if there's no cell phone in the cell phone field. And then when you do find a customer has a cell phone, you're ready then to send them their message with a click of a button. Another nice feature here for you guys that have the software is we have a search window. So if I want to find Mrs. Jones, I can type in Jones, hit the search key, and there's everyone with the name Jones in my database. And if it's Isabel I'm trying to get a hold of, I just double click, and I'm ready to send her a message. When I'm finished, I just close that window, I minimize the main console, and I'm right back to my work order. I never had to upset my workflow. So use the text messaging. I like the 80% quicker response time. I like not having to pick up that phone to make the outbound call 77 times a day. You know, our customers are not going to be offended. In fact, if you ask them, they'll probably prefer it. Okay. So another nice feature that you folks have in the text messaging is the work in progress. This is a screenshot of your Mitchell work in progress. These are all your customers who have cars in the shop today. These are all your customers you communicate with 3-4 times a day. Find the customer, double click, and send them a text message. That quick. You know, one of the nice things I like after a customer leaves is sending a customer a thank you. You know, we don't thank our customers enough. You know, it's a click of a button. It just thanks them for their business, and we really appreciate it. And it lets them know, hey, if you have any questions, and this message can be customized. But every customer, once they leave, just click a button and send them a thank you. It takes a second. And your customers are going to love you, folks. Now, keep in mind, guys, when you build these templates, and you build these text messages, it's 160 characters max per text message, just like our cell phone. So if you exceed 160 characters, and if you notice down here in the bottom left-hand corner, 1, this is going to turn bright red. But 2, when you send a message, it's going to go into a second text message. So keep that in mind when you build your text messages, 160 characters max. All right. So like I said, here we can quickly access all of our customers inside our work in progress. We don't have to go back out, look it up, look up the phone number. The last piece here is the calendar. With a click of a button, and of course my calendar's clean today, but this will read and provide you a snapshot of everything that's on the Mitchell One calendar. So we set that future appointment for that oil change for Frank for February 2nd. So if I go out to February 2nd, it's in Mitchell, it's here. There it is. And I can see the appointment's been confirmed, just like it shows me in Mitchell. And if I want to talk to Frank, no problem. I double click, and I'm ready to speak with Frank. Another nice feature here inside the calendar button is not only can we see all appointments, but look what else we've added recently. The recommendations key. So here's where we will read every outstanding recommendation that you folks have in Manager SC, and we will display it in this calendar format. So for Josh here, I see a recommendation for brakes. Well, if I go back to the appointment button, I don't have an appointment for him on that day, but I still have a recommendation, so I can double click on Josh's name and tell him he has service due. And with a click of a button, I can send him a reminder, try to get him to call back in the shop, and let's set that future appointment for him. So every day I would suggest, folks, is come in here and just look at your recommendations for today, or make it happen. Maybe we check them a couple days out and send those customers text messages. Very simple. Take seconds. And watch your car count and watch your retention grow. And that's really it for text messaging. I tell you, the nice thing is people will ask us, you know, do I have to get my customers' permission to send them a text message? And the answer is no. And here's why. We provide you folks with your own SMS number. And your number is unique to your shop and your shop only. So you own the software. It's your phone number. You are not a third party, or we're not a third party sending messages on your behalf. So we do not have to get the customers to opt in. Now, if you're using some CRM services, and maybe they are sending text messages on your behalf, yes, they do have to get your customer's permission to opt in because, like I said, it's third party. And just to keep in mind, when a third party is sending messages on our behalf and our customers have to opt in, the opt-in ratio, typically approval ratio, is less than 15%. So think about it, 85% of your customers you never get to. Here, you have access to 100% of your customers immediately. All right. So, and everything about text messaging, like I said, is in that how do I documentation. So that is going to lead us into the last and final phase of ProPack, which is Report Pro. So I'm going to minimize the text messaging, and let's think about it. So I'm inside of Mitchell here, and I have my invoice up for my customer, or in this case, a repair order. And let's think about it. Our brand name is so important to us. So let's look at the invoice that we're handing our customers every day from inside of Manager. So as it's preparing here and opening, is it not true every customer leaves our shop with an invoice, whether we print it, email it, however we give it to our customers? And the answer is yes. So look at this invoice. This is an extension of our business. This is free marketing for us. So why shouldn't we have as much useful information on this invoice to help market our brand or help drive future business? So inside the different shop management systems, you have very little customizations, if any at all, you can do here. I mean, the invoice is what the invoice is. Here's our recommendations, and they kind of get thrown in the bottom, and these are our future growth. This is our lifeline. We make recommendations all day. Not every customer does every recommendation that day. So we have to have these for future growth. So consider, things like Home Depot, Target, Walmart, wherever. When we go into those places, CVS, think about it. When you get an invoice or your receipt from Target, do you know it's a Target receipt? Absolutely, right? It has that big red bullseye on the top of it. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help you market your brand, and that you don't get inside the SMS. Now, let's load that same invoice in our Report Pro software that comes with the ProPack. And this invoice can be fully customized. And you can customize this invoice about 140 different ways. The beauty of our software is we make it very simple. And what you're going to do here is everything is point and click. So let's look at the invoice to start. So I'm going to open this up here. And on the left side under the invoice tab, we have about 8 or 9 different layouts. So our two most popular are our classic and our modern. And they're our most popular because they are job-by-job layouts. You have your labor operation, you have your parts, and you have your job total. So it's very easy for the service writers to read. It's very easy for the customers to understand. It makes it quite simple. As you see here, I can drop in my logo with a click of a button. And folks, this is all part of the stuff we install. So we help you with this. And if you need help, call us. If I scroll down the invoice here, look at the bottom of each page. Here's where we give you folks the ability to put affiliate logos on the invoice. People you do business with, these relationships you've worked so hard to achieve. And if you notice on the bottom right-hand corner of every page, social media, right? We all have Facebook pages. We all have Twitter handles and YouTube and LinkedIn pages. And look what we can do here. As I take my mouse and I highlight over each link, folks, we can put all of your URLs or website addresses behind these links. And that's important because if we get in the habit of emailing the invoice and not printing it, all of these things become live. So I can email this invoice to my customer and say, hey, Frank, do me a favor. Just click on our Facebook icon and like us on Facebook. 2 seconds later, your customer's at your Facebook page. We can do it for our review page, like I said, our Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want to do. All these things are customizable. These logos are all in the bolt-on software inside your computer. So we have probably about 100 logos in there. If there's one you don't see, you can go out and get an image and save it in the folder and put it on your invoice. So that's going to lead us into page 2. Now, page 2. Look how we handle the recommendations here. As you see, this recommendations section clearly stands out. It's in color. This background color can be changed to pretty much any color you want with a click of a button. So our software here, all it's doing is reading all the data from inside of Mitchell Manager. Think of it taking a picture and just putting it in a little nicer format. So there's that future recommendation on February 2nd for that lube oil filter that we scheduled today. Now, being that this customer has future recommendations, look what I can put on the invoice out here to the right. It's a QR code, right? So, and it tells the customer, February 2nd, 2016, scan this to set an appointment. So think of our customers and think of our daily lives, right? We all live and die by our cell phones. And if you're anything like me, I use my cell phone. I keep a calendar. I have a calendar on my cell phone, and I constantly are updating that to keep track of all the places and things I have to do. So if your customer scans this with their smartphone, by scanning that QR code, that will automatically create a calendar event or an appointment. They'll pop up on their smartphone screen with your shop's name, your shop's address, the appointment date, and they just click save on their phone, and that appointment goes right into their calendar. They do not have to manually create that calendar event. This QR code here, you folks see, we can put whatever behind it. We can put a link to your website, a link to your review page, whatever you want it to be. If you notice also, as we move further down, here are all the different payment forms we take. So if you notice here, I don't have an Amex logo. No problem. My shop takes Amex. In Report Pro, up here under the Customize tab, you can go to the Invoice tab, and here's all the configurations for configuring that invoice. So if I want to go to my credit card section, and there's my Amex logo that's unchecked, and I want to add it to my invoice, I just click, I save, I reload the invoice, I go to page 2, and boom, there's your Amex logo. So everything in this software, all these configurations, folks, are point and click. Just by going to Customize, the invoice. And you can scroll down here. Look at all the different configurations you have. You have the ability to not show parts prices or parts numbers. That accent color in the recommendation section, if I want to change that, I can do that. I can put a watermark on my invoice. All these customizations are right at your fingertips. A paid stamp. So when the invoice is paid, we put a paid stamp on it. And as you notice here, pretty much everything is just click a button and check it or uncheck it. It's not that hard. Social media, there's all those links we talked about to all your different social media pages. Here's all the credit cards. The affiliate logos, there's all the ones I added. Like I said, when you open up the search window, it takes you right to all the logos that we give you. So there they all are. You just double click. It'll download the logo here. Make sure you have the check mark here to display it. Hit save, and you're ready to go. Those logos, when you refresh an invoice, will show up. So the last section on the invoice that we love you guys to use is this section here, coupons. And it doesn't have to be coupons, right? It can be marketing information. I have an advertisement here saying, hey, every Tuesday's Ladies' Day. All of our female customers get 10% off. A lot of shops say, I don't like coupons, right? I don't want to give anything away. And we're telling you, don't. Put your full price in there. The fact that America sees those dotted lines on an invoice, and think about it, when you leave Target or Walmart or Home Depot, flip over the back of your invoice. What's on there? Coupons. Funny story. I come home 2 weeks ago, and my wife's coming in from the outside, and she's got like 22 bags. So I run over to help her carry the bags, and of course every bag weighs 100 pounds. So I put the stuff on the kitchen counter, I start opening up to put it away, and the first 2 or 3 bags are just, it's like 7 or 8 jars of peanut butter. These big 3-pound jars of peanut butter. And I said to her, who in the heck needs all this peanut butter? And she says, I was at Target, I was in line, I got the coupon, I paid, I saw it was buy one, get one free. She went back into Target, bought 6 jars of peanut butter, went back to the line, paid again, and now I'm stuck with 10 years worth of peanut butter. I only have 2 kids. I don't know who can eat all that peanut butter, but I have 25 pounds of peanut butter if anyone needs it. But the coupons work, folks. So customize them. Put them on your invoice. Right? You could change these every 10 seconds. If my AC special is $109 or $119, there again, go to customize. Customize my invoice. Go to the coupon section. Just click inside the coupon section. Make it $119. Save. Reload the invoice. There's your changes. You're done. Now, another nice feature here. You see how this coupon here is specific to a cabin air filter. So, when you folks go into customize your invoice, and you go to the coupon section, there's an advanced tab here. Go inside there. There again, this list on the left is every category you have inside of Mitchell 1. Yes, categories. As I scroll through here, if you notice here, some of my categories are highlighted in yellow. And that tells me that I've built a coupon to match my categories, in this case, a cabin air filter. So I build these coupons one time. I can change them as much as I want. I save my changes. I load my invoice. Now, we had a cabin air filter coupon on our invoice, and that was because, look at this, in our recommendations, I have a future recommendation for a cabin air filter. So our smart coupons are smart enough to read your recommendations and bring over, if you build it and tell it to, an associated coupon to help you sell that future work. That simple. You build it once, and we take care of everything else, folks. So think about it. Let's customize this invoice. Let's knock out our invoice. Let's look much more professional when we hand this to our customers. Like I said, most of our shops don't even print the invoice, right? Because people say, well, I have to buy a color printer, everything's in black and white. Email it. When you email, everything's in color. So if I wanted to email this invoice to my customer, after I load the invoice, up here, we have an email button. Just click. It's going to load the email and attach the invoice without you doing anything that quick. It's going to pull your email from Mitchell for your customer. It's going to put the vehicle information in the subject line. It's already attached the invoice. You don't have to scan and save anything. Folks, you can even build a canned footer, so you don't have to type in the same message over and over. And in here, you can just type in whatever the message is to the customer. Here is your invoice. And send the email. So we're going to let that email go out. And I'm going to show you folks, once my email refreshes, the final invoice. What your customer is actually either going to open up an email or what you're going to print out to them if you want to continue to print it. All right, so that email's come in. If I open up this email, this is the final invoice. So now let's compare this to what you folks are handing your customers currently. And you tell us what looks better. What would you rather hand your customers? We can set your email up in seconds. It can be done on all the workstations. If you have a shop that has multiple service advisors, we can set up specific to each service advisor. Look how nice this is. A lot of people say, well, your invoice is typically a page longer than the Mitchell invoice. That's correct. It's because we put much more useful information on the invoice than Mitchell does. And when you email, do you care if it's 4 pages, 6 pages, or 26? It's an email, right? You're not printing any paper out. All right. So also in Report Pro, and we're going to move kind of quick here, folks, because Report Pro is so robust. But if you notice down the left side here, there's a ton of added reports. All these reports, folks, we have built for other shops who have paid us to custom build reports. These reports you see here are not available in Mitchell. So take advantage of them, right? So Mitchell's got a ton of reports, which is great. We have some added reports, and all these do is these reports are pulling the data from inside of Mitchell. Ton of helpful reports in here. So there's some other features up here inside of Report Pro, and like I said, I could spend an hour and a half just talking about everything here that's inside of Report Pro. But we have a tools menu up here. And in here, you have the ability to register tires for your customers with a click of a button. You have the ability to fix odometers, move vehicle history. We have a query builder where, folks, you can build your own reports. And all of this information is laid out at How Do I Doc. So read it. And that's really where we're going to finish up today. It's been just about an hour. So like I said, we're recording this. We're going to probably break everything up into separate videos, and we'll get those out to you folks here probably in the next week or so. So if you have any other questions, feel free to continue using the chat window. Hopefully this helped everyone. I know we covered a lot. Our technology is pretty unique, so don't feel like you have to retain everything. You know, like I said, if you have a rep here, a sales representative inside of Bolton or a Mitchell rep, feel free to call them if you have questions. And like I said, use the resources we provide you, which is our website and the How Do I Doc and the printer pages. And if you call in here, call into our support department. You know, we'll try to answer any question you have. And remember, part of your subscription is unlimited training. I can tell you our training, yes, we are backed up. I mean, we have almost 4,000 shops. There's not many places that will call you and offer training. You have to call them. We actually make outbound calls for training. So, yes, we are backed up, and that's why we're going to try to do these webinars here maybe a couple times a month. So in between your personalized shop training, you can jump on one of these group webinars, and for the most part, 99% everything's going to be the same. You know, go to our YouTube page. We have YouTube videos up. So with that said, I'm going to conclude everything here. Hopefully this was helpful. One, I appreciate your time of taking time out of your busy schedule. If we don't talk, you have a wonderful holiday season. Thursday, I can tell you, our next session is we're going to do Mobile Manager, which is the tablet training, and I believe that's at 1 p.m. Eastern as well. And so hopefully all of you have been invited to that webinar as well and attend, and I'll be doing that one as well.